Welcome to Weird Around Illinois. We're talking to you today about a haunting that we went to visit. And this visit really combines two of our favorite things, looking for cryptids and food. We went to a haunted restaurant, a place called the Country House in Clarendon Hills, which is locally famous for its ghostly activities. There are a number of people who have investigated it in the past. Just to give you a brief history on this location, apparently the ghosts started making themselves known when the building was remodeled in 1974. And that's a fairly common story. I often hear in old buildings that things are really quiet until somebody decides to stir something up and take out a wall, or move something that was never moved before or something like that. But I think it started with an incident where they were having a meeting in this room, and suddenly all six shutters in the room went up at the exact same moment. After the meeting, they all started talking about, okay, this is a joke, somebody did this, and they started questioning everybody, and finally they reached the conclusion that nobody was in on a joke, that it was something supernatural had happened. So they called in this famous local ghost researcher, hunter, Richard Crow, who came and, he said he felt the presence of a young woman searching. Now, just a little sidebar here. Richard Crow, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but I actually met him many years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to run ghost tours in downtown Chicago on boats and in person, and just walking and everything else. And
Interesting.
I had gone down there to take one of his tours, and I got to talking with him a little bit before the tour started, and it was really cool. He was like us, basically, is what I would say. He was very passionate about his ghosts and
Right.
a true believer. But anyway, they did some research, talked to the previous owner of the building, and that owner told a story about a woman asking to leave her child with the bartender. Apparently, she had some sort of relationship with this bartender. The bartender refused, and the woman drove off very fast and wrecked her car and died. And nobody knows if it was suicide or if she was just so distraught that she lost control of the vehicle. I also never heard if the child survived. Kind of odd in that story.
Oh, there was a child involved in that crash?
I would assume so, because they didn't let her leave the child at the bar, so I would think the child had to be with her.
Huh.
So that kind of links in with the story of the young woman searching for something. Guessing that would be the ghost of the young woman, either searching for her lost bartender lover or searching for her baby or something. And what happened after that, after the area was stirred up in 1974, they started hearing pounding on the walls. People started smelling flowers or perfume outside the women's restroom. They heard footsteps at all hours of the night, crying babies, the jukebox playing by itself. And apparently there was something with the jukebox. One version of the story is that the song that it kept playing over and over wasn't even on the jukebox.
Yeah. And like they even saw like this woman like standing in front of the jukebox.
Oh, wow.
And it what was interesting is that the description included that the bottom of the person was like missing. It was just like the top half of the body, basically. Really weird.
Now, that's apparently one of the rarest things that happens there, the apparitions. There have been a few times people have seen the woman, but more often than not, it's these other things, these sounds. We went to the restaurant because we were hungry and because we wanted to investigate this story firsthand, or these stories firsthand. And we'll get more into our actual investigation later, but one of the best things that came out of this investigation is we met a lovely waitress named Jory, who told us a story about, I think it was actually during one of the ghost investigations. It said they'd set up something like a Ouija board in one room.
Yeah, that's what I heard, I believe.
And After the investigation was over and everybody was in the same room, they heard footsteps. And this is one of those restaurants where they serve like bowls of peanuts. So there are peanut shells on the floor at any given time. So she heard the distinctive sound, not just of footsteps, but of someone crunching peanut shells as they walked down the hall.
That's weird.
Yeah, yeah. And that, that's not the sort of thing that somebody could just be playing a recording of footsteps or something, or just thumping something on the ground. That's clearly somebody walking.
Yeah, it was like the night, right?
Yeah.
When no one was really.
Yeah, I think she said it was long after closing.
Yeah.
And then, we questioned her a little further, and she said her sister sometimes works there, and she had heard loud noises coming from the basement.
Never want to go into the basement.
No, and apparently she didn't. But and I don't blame her one bit. But again, it was a time when nobody was there, and they were hearing some sort of loud noises down there, and added to the haunting of this place. So it's always so cool when we get to talk to somebody with firsthand experience like that. And clearly, she did not strike me as the sort of person who was making this stuff up for fun or for publicity or anything like that. She saw what she saw.
Yeah.
Or heard what she heard in this case. Our investigation, we were limited by the fact that we were actually there during dinner time. So it was pretty busy. We didn't ask for special permission to stay around late or anything. We may do that some other time if, we become regulars at this restaurant, which we might.
Yeah.
But as we approached it, the building itself, it certainly fit the term haunted house, I would say.
Yeah. It was a creepy building. It wasn't even like that big, really, but the outside just looked really old.
When we first drived up to it, I guess, it did look pretty like a haunted area, but then as we went to the parking lot, there were lights in different areas that made it a little bit more calming.
That was the weird part. The side facing the road was like really like old and creepy, but
Yeah.
the side facing the parking lot was really nice. I'm wondering if, because it's a historical site, there's some things you can't change on a historical site. I'm wondering if they just couldn't do any renovations on the side facing the road because it was protected as a historic site. Once we got inside, we walked past the famous haunted bar and found a table in the corner of the restaurant.
Here's my favorite part. There was a random leprechaun. Like, it just, there's probably a picture on screen of it, but it was just a random leprechaun cutout, or paper, like cardboard cutout, and there's no reason for it to be there, but...
Well, we were close to St. Patrick's Day, I suppose.
I guess, yeah, that's true. But yeah.
Not real close, but we were close.
But you wouldn't expect just one to be there.
Yeah.
You'd expect multiple with
Right.
for decoration.
Was there any other St. Patrick's Day decoration in that?
I didn't see any, no.
No.
Yeah, so
So
it's weird.
the leprechaun itself had this odd look on its face, which caused me to get really disturbed when one of us accidentally elbowed it in the groin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then the look changed from one of surprise to one of pain and surprise. So it was it definitely had some character to it. But the other odd thing about that leprechaun is when I was taking EMF readings in the immediate area, that was the only thing that was spiking. It was like, I don't know if they just had like power conduits behind the leprechaun or something, but he was off the scale when I went to the EMF detector at him.
Like near there was a shelf with a bunch of drinks or something. I think I saw a few cords.
Yeah.
So that might explain that.
And there were some lights outside the building in that area, so maybe those cords were kind of leading outside to the outside lighting, so that there could be a logical explanation for it, but I like the idea of the haunted leprechaun myself.
Yeah. Now, other than that we didn't find anything that haunted. It was a nice restaurant in general, but nothing unusual or weird happened.
No, and we had someone with us who was able to check out the ladies' room, which was where people have experienced a couple of different things, most notably the perfume or flower smell. But
that person that you're talking about, remember when we first got there, we actually had a bit of a strange feeling.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. We had like a weird feeling of dread, I think.
Yeah, right as we walked through the door, she said she felt this feeling of dread, and
Actually, when we were still in the car, she said that she was lightheaded.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
It was like right when we were starting to get into the parking lot, I think.
Alright.
It's really weird.
Maybe we need to bring her on more of our investigations. She might be more sensitive than us. But she didn't sense anything in the restroom, and she walked right by the bar a couple times, so she didn't sense anything there either that seemed out of the ordinary. I believe the jukebox was over by the bar too, if I'm not mistaken.
Didn't get a good look at that, sadly, so.
Neither did I.
Oh well.
Did I?
It's well hidden wherever it is. If it's still there, maybe they removed it. I don't know, or maybe it's in storage downstairs, and it's where all the creepy noises are coming from.
Possibly.
But you know, to me, the highlight of this investigation was the food.
Yeah.
And it was supposedly this place has like the best burgers in Illinois. That's one of their claims to fame, or what some reviewers have said. So you know, we like a good burger, so we kind of attacked that theory.
Yeah, I do have a regret though. I got the turkey burger instead of beef. That was
Yeah.
one of my worst decisions. But I've never really tried a turkey burger at a restaurant, really. So this is my chance.
Yeah. I kind of made a similar mistake. I tried the elk burger, which was good. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, though. And my theory on trying the elk burger is everything we're investigating seems to happen in some place named Elk. There's Elkhorn, Wisconsin with Dogman, or Elk Grove Village with Dogman and Mothman and UFOs and everything else. So I thought, you know, maybe there's some cosmic connection to elk. So if I eat an elk, maybe it'll wake something up.
Maybe. Well, I'll start with saying that it was not the best burger in Illinois.
Okay.
But the onion rings, on the other hand, those were the best I've ever had.
Yeah, those were excellent. And the service there was great too. From the waitress who we mentioned, Jory, she was friendly and fast, and I didn't catch the name of the guy who kept refilling the water, but he was incredible.
He was passionate about refilling
He was. I've never seen anyone so passionate about refilling water and peanuts before.
Yeah.
But the burgers were good, though. I mean,
Yeah, they were good.
You're our burger aficionado, and I remember you saying that was probably a top 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'd say somewhere in top 5.
And you're the one who got the real burger.
Yeah.
We were the adventurous ones who were trying stuff outside of our normal comfort zone, and so we couldn't really fairly rate the burgers.
Wrong restaurant. I didn't realize this was supposed to be one of the best burger places in Illinois.
I'm really kind of regretting not getting the top shelf burger, because that one looked really special. It was like ground chuck with rib meat and brisket in it.
Oh yeah,
that had to be incredible.
Well, that's a good reason to come back one day.
Yeah, definitely. And if we come back one day, maybe we can come back a little bit later and see if they'll let us hang out a bit after closing and see if we can catch a ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was our assessment of the Country House in Clarendon Hills. Great restaurant, lots of character, possibly haunted. So if any of you have experiences in that restaurant or any other haunted restaurants, we're all about food and ghosts. We would love to hear about it. Please leave your comments. And as always, thanks for listening and thank you for subscribing.